Hi, I'm Caroline Reimer. I'm a solitary pagan and I'm an author, and today I'm going to talk about working with fae. It seems quite strange that I'm working in my kitchen to talk about the fae, or some people don't like to call them by their names. They've got all sorts of euphemisms, sort of the good folk and things like that. I can't remember any of the names now. I bet you can see my wonky door. See my wonky door. Okay, so yeah, I want to talk to you about, I'm going to call them faery. I'm sorry, I know some people do not like that. Well, it's normal to work outside in a garden, perhaps, or in nature somewhere, to talk about the faery. Perhaps that would be more suitable. But I'm surrounded by plants in here, not that you can see any, but they are there. And there were many fairies that just dwell along with divas, or are the divas that dwell along with plants. Not these are fake. But if we want to develop a working relationship with the fae, obviously each area has its genius loci, but even your own home will have a genius loci. So even your own home has spirits. I don't know if you can notice, but I've left out a little bowl of the leftovers of my food, and that's to feed my house spirits, which in Slavic is called a Domovoi. And I just like to do that. It's a lucky thing. The saying is that if you leave little offerings for them, keep them happy, maybe a bowl of milk, maybe some butter or some bread, or even the leftovers of your food, which you can, I've left by my cooker, by my stove. You can also leave it by your fire, or you can leave a little bowl of milk on the floor, or maybe out in nature. And this is the fairies and the spirits are supposed to feed from the essence of whatever you leave out. So in this way you keep a good working relationship with them. There are some tales that say if you leave a gift they will run away, but these are not gifts, these are foods, offerings of food to feed the hungry spirits. And they like a neat and tidy home, they like organisation, they like good manners, they like artistry and beauty, and they're said to leave a home if the place is a mess, or if people are shouting and screaming at each other, then you lose the favour of your Domovois. And what they do is they help with luck, they help to look after the animals in the house, or the young children. And I think the sense is that every object has an indwelling spirit, and a home is nothing different. So everything in your home, every bit of wood that it is made out of, there's an indwelling spirit that used to once dwell within there. So it's always good to remember those spirits, and to work with them. And it's an animistic, that's the word, an animistic viewpoint, which would say that even this pot has an indwelling spirit. Hard to recognise at the moment. But yes, the Domovoi will protect your home. He will give you warnings if there's danger around. I had a very strange dream this morning, that, let me think, that my cats couldn't come back home because the river was very high and there was a little waterfall, and I wondered if they got trapped on the other side. And then I dreamt of a garden that somebody showed me that was entirely underwater. And I went, in my dream, as you do, oh, I guess that's a hydroponic garden. But it was entirely underwater, beautiful, fresh, clear water, and just 3 tufts of grass, just tiny little tufts of grass emerging from the top of the water. And when I woke up this morning, I looked out the window and it was slinging it down with rain. And my garden had flooded, and the water was just up to the doorstep. I mean, there was another 6 inches before it would come into the house, but it's dangerously close to, you know, quite deep in there. And I've got a problem with not letting the water flow away, so I think I'm going to have to deal with that, dig a little channel so it can drain off somewhere, because I have no drain any sort. So it's a warning to me, it's a warning to beware. I mean, we're not even in winter yet, so if it rains heavily for days, I could be in trouble, you know. So this is what the spirits around you, this is the help they offer to humanity and to the home, and in return it's nice to offer them food, sometimes alcohol, sometimes tobacco. The idea that it's a male ancestral spirit, like a granddad or a great-grandfather of your family, of your line. And some people say that each house has an indwelling spirit anyway, so you can sense that spirit. Sometimes when you move into old houses you can sense a spirit in there. Sometimes it's not always male, sometimes you can sense a female spirit in there. Sometimes it's the older inhabitants, sometimes it's something that's a little more archetypal or more fairy than that. So it's always good to remember that and to ask them to look after your home and bless your home while you're sleeping, and to cultivate a good relationship. You can do that by leaving out birds, the birds some bread or some bird food, or any of the animals in the neighbourhoods. Bowls of milk are supposed to be good offerings. I tend to just throw out a little bit of bread. It's said that it's not good to step over any offering to the spirits, so not to tread on it, not to walk on it, that's a bit insulting. And then often like a little bit of tipple of alcohol. Some spirits like a little smoke of tobacco. Tobacco's always been a bit of an offering. I'm not suggesting if you don't smoke you go out and buy a packet of tobacco right here, right now. But it's always been a traditional offering for gratitude to put tobacco around a property or around the forequarters anyway, I do believe. And of course fairies were known to smoke their little pipes, little gnomes as well were supposed to smoke pipes, so that might explain why whenever you dig a garden you will find a little clay pipe. And what else can I say about working with them? The wheel is just turning at the moment, it's just turning to winter, so around about this time, and especially about Samhain, some house spirits will start to come back. This is the whole Feast of the Dead's principle, really. They're returning to our realm in the dark half of the year, and so we feast them to make them happy, to let them know that we still love them, we've not forgotten them, and to keep them appeased, really. And some places, I don't want to spook anyone, of course, you will be able to sleep tonight, but some places have spirits that return sort of Samhain to maybe March, February, March. I know I lived in a house that was very scary in winter. I had to leave eventually, but it was a very damp house, and damp holds a lot of memories, and damp seems to encourage psychic phenomena, so I would recommend a little bit of a dehumidifier if anybody has that kind of problem. But generally it's good to encourage the happy, gentle, loving spirits, keep them happy. If you can imagine, it's like the dark gnome that lives under your stairs, or when you were a child you used to feel the little dark imp under your beds, or in your dark corners, or in your cupboards, in your wardrobe. I think children are very aware of that kind of psychic phenomena, so that's really the Slavic idea of the Domovoi, is the little imp who lives in the dark corners. Actually, he's very small and hairy in some theologies, big feet, I think. But he's a cute and friendly helper, so don't be afraid of him, but give him gifts, give him little offerings of milk or butter or bread. So anyway, I hope that was some interest to you, and always remember to treat your own house with respect, and the idea is that if you keep it clean, he'll come along at night and help with the tasks around the home, but they'll be angry at a messy and untidy house. So it's a good way of making sure you keep your house clean. Okay, well, thank you for listening, and if you have any topics you would like me to talk about, please let me know, and goodbye.